Okay, I want to share with you a lesson that I've got from this house here. So this is my tired landlord house. I've done a few videos on it, and every house seems like it has multiple lessons that you can learn from, or that you can share with somebody else. And on this one, I want to share this one with you guys, and hopefully it helps you on your deals or just general knowledge to have. So this was a pretty small house. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. When I bought it, 648 square feet. And so if you know how real estate is normally sold and valued to come up with a list price, normally they're going to take comps in that neighborhood of similar properties that have sold within the last 6 months, a year, 3 months. The more recent the comp, the better. And they're going to figure out what that house sold for in terms of price per square foot. And then they're going to see how many square foot your house is, multiply the square footage times that selling price, and now you've got your list price or your asking price. So if you can squeeze out more square footage, maybe you can get a higher price, right? So on this one, when I bought it, 648 square foot is what the appraisal district had it as. And as I was working on this house, I thought, well, there may be more here than 648 square foot. Not a lot, but a little bit, right? So I figured there was, so I called an appraiser. Now, if you want to get this done right, you need to get an appraisal report on the square footage. So just call an appraiser's office and say, hey, I've got more square footage here than what's listed. I want to get a drawing on the square footage, and they'll come out. And in this particular case, cost me less than $200. I think it was $150 is what I paid on this one. And I ended up, after the report, getting an extra 23 square foot above where I thought it was. So you say, well, 23 square foot, I mean, is that a lot? Well, if it cost me $150 to add 23 square foot to this property, and the list price on this one is about $320 a square foot, so that's over $7,000 in value added to the list price. Now, so when an appraiser comes in, if your buyer's going to get bank financing, that's how they're going to appraise it, right? So to qualify for financing, the more square footage, the more valuable. It's just the way it's going to be. So the more square footage you can have, so that extra 23 square foot times $300, more or less thereabouts, we'll say $300 for easy math, that's $6,900, $7,000 on the appraisal, on the list price, on everything. So if you did a remodel and you tried to add 23 square foot to a house, it's going to cost you more than $150. So that easy measurement, now you want to have an idea of what you're going to end up with at the end. I knew it wasn't going to be much, but I knew that report was only going to be $150, and I knew I was going to get at least $150 worth of value out of it. And how I think it's done, my understanding is they're measuring the outside walls of the house. So you could get a good tape measure the outside walls of your house and come up with what that property, square footage is going to be. Because you don't know, especially if it's an older house like this, it may have been lost in, the paperwork, or they just did a satellite measurement. No telling how they may have come up with those, or somebody, when they built the house, just told them, hey, it's such and such square footage, and they took that and they put it in the files, and that's it. But if you squeeze another 100 square foot or 50, or in this case 20 square foot out of the property, it's going to help you out down the line as far as an appraisal. It's going to help you out from the list price standpoint, and just a little nugget there. And for $150 or $200, whatever it cost you, it's probably worth it. In my case, I felt that it was well worth it, and so that's how I added 23 square foot to this house and added, let's say, $7,000 in value to this house without having to do any additional add-ons, remodels, or anything like that. Let me know if you've had any experience with this, or what your thoughts are on this method. Leave me a comment if you would. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you checking it out. I'll see you on the next one.